Hey y'all, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and I've got this really pretty Altenew paper, but it's pretty busy, so I want to tone it down a little bit, and I have this wood grain. It's from, well, the line was called Peachy Keen, or the collection kit. I have these pictures from my daughter's senior pep rally. Parents got to go, so there's a selfie of she and I. And then I have this Echo Park paper with school-related paper and some green cardstock. So like 4 different companies of paper in this. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can stretch that one piece of wood grain across 2 pages and still make it look unique without, the standard strip across the middle or half and half or whatever. So I'm just trying to do it a little bit different. And so I've got the walking in picture over on the right, on the left. And then there's a picture of the teachers, the superlative teachers. They also did all the superlative seniors, and but I couldn't get a good picture of that because of where we were seated. But I did get a picture of the the prom king nominees. And here I'm trying to figure out this piece of paper, and I kind of set it aside, start measuring and thinking about what would make sense. And I was thinking about doing a 7-inch strip, but then it wouldn't go across because I've only got the 12 inches. So I went ahead and I cut it at 6 inches, and then I'm just going to make it a little uneven, not exactly mirror image. I've got a 3-inch strip of the school paper on one side and a 1.5-inch strip on the other side. I have these 2 cut aparts. I'm going to trim those down a little bit more and make them a little bit smaller, and the borders a little bit smaller on them. And then I'm going to start matting all the photos. And I decided to expand that 6-inch strip just a little bit. I'm going to use my Creative Memories border maker, and I've got this sort of triangle border, and I think that's going to work really well. It's going to sort of emulate the crowns on top of the guys' heads. They were wearing little paper crowns, and so I like that look. It gives it more personality. It helps bridge between the wood grain and the busy pattern paper. And again, it sort of speaks to those crowns. So I'm only going to put them on the top. I could put them on the bottom, but that would look, again, we would be going for too symmetrical. I'm also going to move the strips, the 6-inch strips, up a bit. So I've put them at 2.5 inches at the top and 3.5 inches at the bottom. Again, just trying not to be too even Steven, matchy. So I like balance on my pages, but not necessarily pure symmetry. So I'm making a banner end on both ends of this strip, but just on one end of the other strip. So it's a little bit smaller than the other side. I have inked, and I am going to end up inking all the papers, including the base paper. I'm going to do that off video though. All right, and so you can see I've trimmed those. I've trimmed a little journal box. I've trimmed the little cut apart ephemera. And I'm liking that balance a little bit better. And I'm starting to do, now it's time to do the title and the and embellishments. So I'm doing a little I tried to do 20, 25. It's not going to fit over there, so I'm just going to do 25. I like that a little bit better. And I am going to leave, you know, looking at this, I could have moved that bottom picture up a bit, but I kind of like the space, the breathing space that it gives. Again, because that background paper is so busy, having a little bit of breathing space on that wood grain is helpful. So I couldn't decide what to do. I just decided to do Seniors Rock Rule. I thought it was too boring to say Senior Pep Rally. This is the event we were at. I have made some matching sequins. I don't really have black sequins. I should probably get some because that would have been helpful. And I'm just playing around with the ephemera. Got quite a few different stickers. Just trying them out in different places. And then just trying to do layered clusters. So ordinarily I would have put one up in the top left corner, and I didn't, partly because I didn't have another big one that I wanted to put up there. I guess I could have done that one that I just now put on the bottom. It could have gone up top, but it would have been white on white. It wouldn't have shown up as well. So I'm okay with where I landed on this. I could have done something a little different just to get another cluster up at the top, but then it would have been my normal formula, and I'm glad that I did something a little bit different. You don't want all your pages to look the same, to look too formulaic. And I end up not using those little banner pieces, but I do use just about everything else. I've got these little, so I want to use this strip. It's been sitting around on my desk for ages, or in the folder of the school stuff. I'm going to make it a little banner and then just tuck it in to help frame out that photo. Really, I just wanted to get it on a page. Then I've got some little wordy bits I'm attaching to some of the photos. I'm not going to use that little piece. Now, one thing I don't have a lot of is circular elements, though that ampersand sort of feels a little circular. And then I've added the small hearts. They're a little circular. Now I'm just doing some sequins, and I've got stars, hearts, and circles, and they're all in sort of greeny blues that coordinate with some of the colors in this background paper. And I just put down some dots in different places. And I think I did go back in and add some teeny tiny ones after I finished videotaping, just to make it look a little more random. It wasn't quite looking random enough for me. But I didn't add much, just a couple more. All right. right, I think we're getting close to done. I felt that those two were too much in line, so I'm moving things around a bit. And I think that's it. We're about ready to do some close-ups. Please give this video a thumbs up and come back for more content. I'm trying to post 5 or 6 times a week. I do cards, I do layouts, I do hauls, and I do scraps to embellishments. So here we go with some close-ups. So I'm getting real close to finishing up my daughter's senior album. Of course, I'll have a lot of pages from prom and a lot of pages from graduation to do. But I will have the bulk of it done in time for her graduation party, and that's exciting. Thanks a lot, y'all.